How's it, internet? Welcome to today's deck of the week, which I have appropriately named Familiar Madness. Why? Because this mechanism, this combo mechanism that I've designed for this deck is set to drive your opponent mad just for how long he actually has to wait for you to pull it off every turn. And it might drive you a little bit mad too, but it doesn't matter because he's probably going to concede before you go mad. So this deck is actually pretty cheap. There are only 8 rare cards in it, which is obviously the Murderous Rider, very important card, very good card, and then a Yara, which I'll speak about in a bit. So let's start at the core card, which is obviously Cauldron Familiar. This, for the of you that don't know, every time this card comes into play, you gain 1 life and your opponent loses 1 life. Now we can continuously bring it into play using Witch's Oven, which is an artifact that creates a food every time a creature is sacrificed. And obviously we're going to sacrifice the cauldron that creates food, and then we use the food to bring the cauldron back. A nice little circular loop. Now we enhance this mechanism with basically another artifact called Manifold Key. Now this acts kind of as another Witch's Oven. So you technically have 8 Witch's Ovens that you are able to use this mechanism with. Now do note that you only actually need 1 familiar, and as many of these you can, and for every one of these in play, you get to do that whole little loop again. So if you have 1 oven and say 2 keys, you get to do it 3 times. That means that the opponent loses 3 life and you gain 1 life, 3 life, and that means that it's already a 6 life deficit just for having 3 of these in play. So obviously if you have 8, that's a 16 life deficit, which is massive, but you're probably not going to reach that level. Even towards the end game, it's a lot to ask, but we are going to not depend on just these cards, because we can actually add an extra one to this little cycle, or actually 2 cards. And the first is Ayara, and she adds an extra life and an extra gain to the cauldron. So it basically just doubles it up for when she's in play, for every cauldron and for every manifold and for every oven that you play, little cycle, it becomes 2 health lost and 2 health gained for you. So there again, you can see how quickly that starts snowballing in your favor. Now another card that accentuates it once again is Vindictive Vampire, and every time the familiar dies, which is going to be every turn, the opponent again loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So it's an extra one. So if he's out, Yara's out, and the cauldron's out, that is 3 life lost and 3 life gained, a 6 life deficit every time you do that little cycle. And if you have 3 of these out, I mean, you can see how it starts really becoming insane, how much life you gain and how much life they lose. Now, these are basically the core cards of the deck. But we make use of that life, in a even better way, because we are putting in Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Now every time one of these cycles happens, and every time a life is gained, so if a life is gained here and a life is gained there and a life is gained there, that's 3 life gained. That means that she gets +3/+3 because it's every time. So if you have her out plus 2 keys and an oven, that is what, 3, 6, 9. Yes, yeah. So that's going to be 9 +9 for every turn for your Bloodthirsty Aerialist. And obviously, if you have 2 of them out, you can see again it starts snowballing incredibly well. Other cards we have with just to also pump out our life steal is or life link rather is the Murderous Rider, which obviously doubles up as a destroying card, a removal, which destroys a creature or planeswalker that gets in our way. And obviously he comes back into the library once he dies. So a very important card there. And Order of the Midnight, also just to pull back, because people are going to be targeting your Yara, I guarantee it. So this card is basically meant to just be able to pull her back. So if you don't like this card or you have something else, you can definitely replace it. But I found this card to be very good at just keeping your deck in getting this combo, making sure that it exists on the battlefield. Now, the other card with lifelink, again, to pump out our Aerialist, is the Vampire of the Dire Moon. She obviously has Death Touch, which is going to keep those big creatures intact, prevent them from attacking you until you can get your little combo going. And she also has lifelink, obviously, to fuel the Aerialist. And then Gutter Bones, he's a very important card here because he too is basically immortal. And so what should happen is if your familiar dies and you don't sacrifice it, you need to create a food token in order to bring it back. But because you didn't sacrifice it, you can't bring it back because you don't have any food tokens. This is where Gutter Bones comes in. You can use him you can use your oven to sacrifice him, and that'll create a food token. And then all you have to do is actually just use your mana to bring him back into play. So it's 2 mana to bring him back into your hand, and then 1 mana to obviously play him again. So 3 mana to get him back in the battlefield. So, and then on top of that, you obviously have a food, and then with your food, you can bring your cauldron back, and then you can start your whole little cycle again. So he's just a card, obviously acts as a defender as well. Very good at it, because he's obviously immortal, but his main purpose is just to make sure that you have enough food for your witch's oven, and so that your cauldron can do that whole cycle. And guys, that's about the deck. It's like I said, and obviously Witch's Cottage. You don't have to have this in there, but I found it, it basically acts as the Order of the Midnight as well. So you're able to bring either your Murderous Rider if he gets sent to the graveyard, and there are ways that with some cards that don't make him go back into your hand, or obviously to bring a Yara back. So this is just a little bonus card. I mean, you already have, I've got obviously 20 lands here, so I've got 16 swamps. That's more than enough. So a few Witches' Cottages just add to the deck and its power. So that's about the deck. Nothing too special, but you'll see how powerful this mechanic is, and the fact that we have 1, 2, 5 cards that are all 1 cost. Another set that are 2 costs. So the most expensive is just our Vindictive Vampire, which is 4, which is not even that much. So we're able to pump these guys out very quickly, get our little mechanic going, and then hopefully win the game. All right, guys, so that's it. I'm going to play a game for you, and then hopefully and then I can show you this mechanic. All right, let's do it. All right, guys, so let's play our first game of Familiar Madness. Let's just play a standard game. Alrighty, so I hope we get our cauldron, our familiar, and maybe a key. As long as we have those 3, we are rolling until we get a Yara out on the battlefield, and then obviously our aerialist is next up, so that we can just fuel her and make her grow like crazy. Honestly, you'll see how quickly the aerialist grows. Your opponent underestimates how much life you can actually, how many counters you can actually pump into your aerialist. Okay, so not a bad hand. We have at least 2 of the pieces of our little combo going, and we have enough lands for the rider should we need it, and then obviously Gutter Bones for protection. Okay, and then we have enough swamps to also pull the Witcher out. You need 3 swamps in play, so that's good. So we'll keep him till last. We'll just pop him over there. Okay, we have another aerialist, which is fine. Put our oven out. Okay, then we might as well attack. He will probably not sacrifice the Paradise Druid. And he needs it probably for mana, so we're not going to lose life. And if he taps it, I might destroy it with the Rider. It's always a tough call. Do you destroy the Druid, or do you destroy the creature that the Druid brings out? So we'll see. Okay, well, he's got hexproof. So we can't do anything. So I'm going to... You see, okay, so he's got a red deck. He doesn't have any red mana. So I'm going to destroy the Druid now, because obviously I can't destroy the Spellbreaker. Okay, it's fine. Take the damage. Take it like a man. Okay. I'm going to destroy his Druid. Just so that he can't bring any of these other red creatures out. Put him back a little bit. And then we can play our aerialist. And from our aerialist, we'll play the familiar, and then obviously the aerialist will be ready to attack with an extra counter on it. Okay, you see, so he had to pay life there. So that definitely did put him back. Even if just by a little bit. Okay, I'm going to have to use Gutter Bones as a blocker now. We're losing quite a bit of life. Okay, so I'm going to sacrifice this just so we can get the familiar out as well. And then buff our... Okay, sacrifice the familiar. Okay, Aerialist gets... We'll get 1+1+1 now. Okay, so it's going to actually get 2 counters because as it came into battle initially, and then obviously as we brought the cauldron back, so it got 2 counters just for that round, which is great. Okay, hopefully he doesn't kill it now because we definitely needed to deal some damage to him. And luckily, I mean, or not luckily, but part of the mechanic is that we gain 2 life actually as well. Ah, you see, killed. Okay, you see, so this is where I needed the Witch's Cottage to bring that, but we luckily have another one here. Okay, these decks are obviously, I've played against these decks, they're becoming so popular, these fast attacking. Okay, so I'm going to block against this guy, kill him off. And about all we can do for now. Okay, so we have a key. Let's see if I can kill. Yeah, sorry, that was my bad. I thought he was able to play him. Okay, so I'm going to do this, give us some life. At least he'll be a blocker for the goblin next turn. Okay. Gain 1 life. Okay, perfect. Bring him back. Okay. Okay, then one catch is that you actually have to pay 1 mana to tap this artifact. So, it was obviously out. It's fine. Because at least our rider's there and he also has lifelink. Okay, so what I didn't read actually is that the spellkeeper actually, spellbreaker actually only has hexproof on his turn. Okay. Bring out an aerialist. Okay. And then let's play this. Sacrifice him. Okay, bring him back into play. Commit this. Okay. +1/+1. And then I'm actually... Let's put our familiar in there as a blocker. Because we do need to block. Okay. I can bring Gutter Bones back to get, like I said, to get the create a food token when he dies in bat, to bring our familiar back, because he's obviously going to die and not be sacrificed. Ah, he's so lucky. Wow. So lucky. He just had the perfect card in hand. Okay, so I'm going to have to kill this guy off. Okay, we have an Ayara. I'm going to play her. You guys can also see the combo with her. Okay, let's sacrifice the kitty. Okay. Gain 1 life. Okay, you'll see now we're on 10, so we should be hit 12. And he should be on 6. You see, so 4 life deficit. Right there and then. So let's do that all over. Untap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little trick now. So I'm not going to do the whole familiar thing now. I'm going to attack with him. If he doesn't block, you'll see I'm going to use the familiar as a blocker, but I'm able to sacrifice it now because you can actually do the oven on their turn. So you can use him as a blocker. Okay, that's no good. Exactly what we did not need. Okay, so we can't block him because he can only be blocked by powers 2 or higher. Okay, nothing we can do. Okay, so I'm going to sacrifice the cat quickly. Unfortunately, I don't have an aerialist out for you guys to... Okay, so he quit. There we go. We win. With not a single mythic in our deck. Alright, let's have one more game with Familiar Madness. And let's see what happens this time. Hopefully I can execute the combo for you. Hopefully we can get the right cards on the table. And then do some damage. Okay, so we have a key, we have a familiar, and we have a Yara, and we have order. So the only key card that we're missing now is the familiar itself. So hopefully we get it soon. We'll set up everything in the meantime for his arrival. And obviously we need 1 extra mana just for a Yara. Okay, we have a vampire, which even adds to it even more. Let's just do that. This seems like a rush red deck, which can be danger for us. Although the familiars do act as blockers very well, but obviously we need them in order for them to block. So hopefully they come soon. Okay, so at least we have this as a blocker for now. Okay. Come on, little kitty, where are you? What does this do? Tap it, add red mana, spend this mana only to cast Elemental or Chandra. Plain Walker spells. Okay, so there's obviously a lot of Chandras in this. And probably that one enchant Chandra's, I don't know, trinkets or whatever it's called. Okay, so he only has mana now to spend on 1 color. That's what the Lotus does. You get an extra land or extra mana, but it has to all be from the same mana color. So he obviously needs to put out in either a red or a blue card for his next turn. Obviously, if he's going to only cast mono colors, then creatures or spells, then obviously it doesn't matter. But if he needs to cast something else. Okay, so we have another land here. I don't want to put a Yara out just yet because I want the cauldron to be there. Okay, let's attack. Let's see if he sacrifices this. Okay, he needs it. This is always the way I judge on how important someone's cards are. If they don't let it get killed by a 1/1 creature. Okay, you need to play a little bit faster here, friend. Okay. Okay, so he obviously has now 3 blues and 1 red if he needs it. Heavily fire. Discard any number of cards and draw that many cards. Deals X damage to each opponent, each planeswalker they control. X is the number of cards in your graveyard. Okay, so he's obviously going to sacrifice a lot of cards to his own graveyard. It's probably a Jace in here as well, a Jace planeswalker. Basically is where, okay, maybe not, he's got green in here as well. Okay, it's not the deck I was thinking of. Okay, we really need our familiar now. Don't need that. Okay, okay, what I'm gonna do... Okay, I'm not gonna do anything. Maybe put Vindictive out for now. Because he's not such a vital card. He is, but Ayara is more important. So I just don't want her to get zapped by a removal spell. Okay, he's going to start growing very quickly now, unfortunately. Luckily for... You should have taken my Dire Moon out when you had the chance. Because now I can take that Cavalier of Flame out with a 1/1 creature, which is always a good thing. Okay, and there we go. We just make it more difficult for him to attack. So this creature is so important, not only for the lifelink, for the aerialist, but also the death touch to keep these creatures at bay. Obviously, if they have trample, it doesn't matter too much, or it's, you know, you're gonna kill it, but it's gonna still do damage to you. And the other thing that trample doesn't, or death touch doesn't stop, or that counters it, is double in first strike. But he does not have any of that. He can't do much in terms of attacking right now. Once these Chandra Planewalkers come out, we are in a bit of trouble. We're not getting the best draws here. Even if it's just a Gutter Bones that I can, you know, start the little cycle with. Just something. That is not what we needed again. Okay, we're gonna have to just chill out again. I might just put an order out. Okay, let's put an order out. Just to do some damage in the meantime. Some flying damage. Does he have reach anyway? No, he doesn't have any reach. Otherwise, we're just kind of sitting here. There's these planeswalkers.
Living in a monastery full of firebrands?
Okay, so you can actually have two Chandras.
Nice to meet you.
I was under the impression that you can't have two planeswalkers, you know, if it's the same names. Not just the same cards. Obviously, you can't have two identical cards, but you can. I thought you can't have two of the same named Planewalkers out. Like I've got two Ajanis in my one lifelink deck. Okay, so let's sacrifice this. At least we get a food for it, and we're gonna deal 1 damage to him, and get 1 life back. And at least we get a food for our little effort, which is better than nothing, but it's better than no food. We're going to lose the creature anyway. Okay, so let's block here 1. That's fine. He has no mana, so he can't do anything. Be gone with you. Come on, dude. You know your deck. Click the button. I don't understand why the card needs to tell you, okay, they are disappearing. I just feel it's pointless. Finally, okay, our familiar is finally arrived. So let's put our Ayara out. Come on, dude. Click the buttons. Click it. Do it. There we go. Good boy. Okay, finally familiar. Okay. Now he's going to lose 2 life. We're going to gain 2 life. Come on, man. Okay. Let's put the Witch's Cottage out so that we can use our manifold key. And I won't bring the moon back just yet. I'll wait for next turn. But this is just so that we can now have an extra mana which we're going to use for our manifold key, so we can do this whole cycle again. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. He loses 1 life, we gain 1 life. Or the vampire. And he's going to lose 1 of his fuse things because he's taking his sweet ass time for something very stupid. Very rudimental. There we go. Now you just lost a fuse. Not. Okay, untap our oven, yes. I hate when people do this. The fuse timers need to be increased. The speed needs to be increased. Okay. So I'm going to leave the familiar for now. And we'll do it on his next turn. Just in case, we need it as a blocker or something.
Take it easy.
It is ready to roll. Alrighty, we're in a good place now. That familiar came at just the right time. Okay, I wonder what he's going to do. He's probably going to tap our order. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, at least we know we've got no cards in hand, so no funny business. Okay, so we can at least block, and you see, that's why I kept the cauldron for now. So the vampire will take out his cavalier, this vampire. And then cauldron will block either one of the others. Let's see if he attacks. If we can just get an aerialist in this game, it'll make his life much more difficult. We are literally now set up with every card we need. We got 1, 2, 3, all 5 of the key cards for our aerialist. All he needs to do is now just pass. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going to block this guy, block him. Okay, set up the block. Yes, correct. And then there's going to be a phase now where we're going to sacrifice the cauldron. This guy would just wake up. Okay, so sacrifice the cauldron. He doesn't die, he just comes back. He loses 1 damage, so okay, so that's 1, 1, 1. Okay. But he's lost now. And then he's gonna lose another 2 here. We just created a 6 life deficit between us and him. Just from that one little move. We gained 3 life, he lost 3 life. And he didn't do us any damage. There we go. There's another 2 life lost, 2 life gained. And he didn't do anything to us. Okay, so now we get to put our vampire out. Make his life even more difficult. Okay, 1-1. Now we get to do our cauldron again. There's another 2 life, 2 life. Okay, so he's going to be on 7 after this. Oh, he's okay. Sorry, and I always forget about the vindictive. So he does an extra. So that's again another 6 life deficit. 3 lost, 3 gained. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to untap our oven. So that we set up our cauldron as a blocker once again, just like the last round. And that's the power of this deck, is that this familiar, it has so much versatility, especially when you start adding a Yara, Vindictive, and you know, these keys in. And we pretty aerialist didn't show up today, but I don't think this guy's gonna make it to the end of the game. Okay. No attacks from us. In turn. So you can actually use a Yara as well to sacrifice a black creature. And draw a card. But the issue is that I could do it because I have one food in play. But obviously if you sacrifice the cauldron with a Yara, you don't get a food back, so you can't bring the cauldron back unless you have a food already on the table. Which is why the oven and the cauldron are a better system. But obviously for this point, I'd rather just keep the little cycle going because we're all set up with it. But if you're in dire need of a card, then you can definitely, you know, use a Yara, you know, to get an extra draw card in. Okay.
Time to turn up the heat.
Okay, see if he attacks. Okay, he's going all in. Okay, let's kill him off. Let's kill that one off. Don't want that. And then we block. Let's block this guy. Okay, that's fine. We've got a lot of health. So we can take some damage. Okay, and then we're going to do our little secret move. Secret move. Okay, 1 damage, 1 damage. He's going to be on 3 life. We're going to be on 36 before damage starts being calculated in from his creatures. But the important part is that he's on 3 life. So by next round, we can finish him off. Got very little chance of winning this. Because next round, I'm able to do the cauldron twice. So, which is basically more than... We just need to do it one more time, and he's wiped out. Okay, there we go. He's going to be on 3 life now. He's going to be on 36. 36. Okay. This big creature's going to die. Okay, we're still on 18 health. No big deal. Oh, and 2 creatures died, so it's an extra bonus damage. So let's just finish it off with the cauldron, in style. They didn't even let us. Alright guys, so you saw this deck is crazy good. I love playing it. I love the mechanic behind it. The opponents definitely don't expect it. They don't really notice how much life they lose every turn. Yeah, you just kind of creep up on them like that. So that's it. That is Familiar Madness. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe so I can bring you guys more decks like this in the near future. This is Ozarc. See you next time. Cheers.